Hello, I'm Mantastic'c and Fantastic, and today I'm going to be talking about the new 10 Magic Stone Super Godfest that has just gone live in North America. So, in a surprise turn of events, we are now receiving the debut of a brand new Godfest exclusive, significantly ahead of schedule, because there is usually a 2 to 3 month delay between North America and JP, and if we do receive cards at an earlier time, it's kind of like accelerating power creep, so to speak, because we're acquiring cards from the future, so to speak, at a much sooner time frame. Unfortunately, this Super Godfest, despite the fact that it's featuring one brand new amazing Godfest exclusive, who I'll talk about a bit more shortly, has terribly low rolling rates. So a Super Godfest will have, at the bare minimum, 33% chance for any Godfest exclusive. And I did my due diligence time. I counted every single one of the breakdowns for this event, and there are 11 7 and 11 6-star Godfest exclusives, which means it's 16.5% chance for each of those, so a total of 33%, which is the absolute lowest you can go. There are 2 Samurai 3 cards featured, and it brings the total of quote-unquote good things up to 24 or 36% chance. But like I mentioned, this is as low as you really can go, and I'm going to just take a look at the cards featured here. Maybe a little hard to see, but the Samurai 3 cards that are featured is the purple one, who I think is the weakest, so it's kind of like bringing down the quote-unquote good stuff even further. And while the 7-star Godfest exclusive lineup is great, we have Royal Oak, we have Nautilus, we have Shelling Ford, we have Celica, we have Albert, we have Fagan Rai, who's getting a buff in the future, we have Priscilla, and we have the new Cecilia. And I'm going to go take a look at Cecilia because it is worth actually understanding how she functions. But like I said, the rolling rates are terrible. You have the lowest possible chance for any Godfest exclusive. So, utilizing Tsubaki Bot through Discord, through one of the various servers, in this case my own, you're able to pull up card information relatively easily. I just type in the ID of the card and bam, I'm able to start interacting with them. So, Cecilia is going to be kind of like the Cottonade branch of cards. Or Sophie is probably the closest comparison, because in their base form, they're distinctly different, but they can evolve into multiple different colors, which are nearly identical. They just change up a couple of few things. So in her base form, all of them only include 2 skill boosts, which is a little bit sad, but if we want to compare to Sophie, Sophie also has only 2 skill boosts. But in her base form, we got 777 combo, one of the Cross Awakenings, which can help remove sticky blinds, or as a way to add bonus damage for that card. And then you can have an L, a VDP, or another Cross Awakening for Super Awakening. So they can deal significant amounts of damage. It can be quite meaningful. And their active skill gives you a single roulette, 2 times or movement time, so you can abuse that spinner and fish out whatever color you need, and you get 1 turn of bypassing damage absorb effects. So it's a Fujin style active skill on a 9-turn cooldown with a roulette and a movement time buff alongside of it. These are all incredibly helpful aspects for a 9-turn cooldown. You just have to be mindful of the fact that they only have 2 skill boosts. As a leader, they look great on paper because they have huge amounts of auto follow-up attack, massive amounts of damage reduction, a significant amount of RCV, and a respectable attack multiplier. The problem is her whole kit revolves around actually hitting 9 or more combos, and her leader skill does not provide any bonus combos whatsoever. So you are going to have to pair with someone with bonus combos in order to be successful, or utilizing 7x6 and leader swapping into position, which is definitely doable with her because it's a 9-turn cooldown. You probably can find enough skill boost. 9 turns plus the 18 turns swap, which is the norm, is 27 turns. That's basically like transforming Gillian. Similar idea, but this is going to be a much stronger leader overall. But I definitely feel that you need to utilize 7x6 to truly take advantage, or just someone with excessive bonus combos. But 7x6 swapping tends to be the best approach if you're non-transforming, just because a bigger board and relatively no downsides ensure a 2 and 3. If we go to her new evolution, or her subsequent evolutions, they are one of each color, and they're almost all nearly identical. The super resist will change, like in her fire form, it's super blind, and it's super poison. Here, it's jammer, it's blind, it's poison. My point is, the super resist changes, and the killers featured also can change. Like there's Dragon and Devil. Here there's God, Devil. God or Devil, one of the 2 is always going to appear. You can look through all of them on your own. But the point is, they are incredibly similar to Sophie. They both feature the 10 combo, the 7 combo. Sophie has 4 unique killers. Cecilia has instead the Super Resist and 2 killers, which are highly relevant in almost all cases, and a Cross Awakening. So the Cross Awakening is akin to 2.5 times personal damage. So they can actually end up doing much more reliable damage because they're not as dependent on the typing. But in that same vein of thought, Sophie has been drastically buffed to have a 7 combo in her Super Awakening. So she's 20 times without killers, and then killers go up to like 60 or 90. I don't know. They get bigger and bigger. The point is, her damage multiplier, Sophie, can ramp up excessively fast. A great candidate for the double damage cap. For Cecilia, she doesn't get that 7 combo super rating. She does get that VDP, but to match a VDP with a cross is really not going to happen unless you're utilizing 7x6, which is definitely possible because like Sophie, Cecilia has in her evolved forms 7x6 through her leader's skill, which means they're going to be one of the best options for 7x6 swapping. You enter with them, Sophie or Cecilia, have the bigger board, swap into someone else who has a stronger leader skill, because their leader skill multipliers are just not really high enough for what we really want to try and achieve. But it's a great way to enter the dungeon. So basically the idea is Cecilia is going to function kind of like Sophie, a little less offensive, I would say. Sophie's a bit more universally offensive because of more killers and just a 7 combo via Super Awakening, but without the VDP, Sophie's damage output can be wasted. But Cecilia does give you that super blind resist, and their active skill is again quite similar to Sophie. Instead of getting an attack buff, a movement time buff, and an RCV buff, you get to have an RCV buff. You get an attack buff, you get a movement time buff, and that 1 spinner. So you can counter out spinners, you can fish out key orbs that you need to actually have, and the bonus movement time helps ensure that is going to actually occur. So which Cecilia form would you choose? It all comes down to your monster box and what kind of hole you're trying to fulfill. Because kind of like Sophie, they're incredibly flexible. Like her different forms will allow you to have different color coverage and thus be used on different teams. And the Cross Awakening can be helpful when you're trying to clear those sticky blinds. It also is, again, like a way to add bonus damage. But the point of the matter is, she is a strong Godfest exclusive who is unfortunately featured in a lackluster event because it is as low as you can go. Like I said, 33% chance for any Godfest exclusive. One of the worst Samurai 3 and just one other Samurai 3. So you can kind of think the actual good rolling rates are 34.5% chance, which is barely higher than the absolute worst it could possibly go. I don't think anything has really been 33% because I always sprinkle in Samurai 3. But the point of the matter is, not a good time to roll. Almost any other event in the future will be better. But at the same time, Super Godfest are never going to be bad. If you're a brand new player, have absolutely nothing to work with, you need things to start clearing content, rolling a Super Godfest does have a chance of being at least somewhat fruitful. And who knows, you might just get lucky. You might end up rolling some of the big Chase 7-star cards featured in this event. With that being said, let me know what you think about this Super Godfest in the comments down below. Do you think it's actually worth rolling, or do you plan on just skipping it entirely and waiting for something else in the future? Either way, hopefully you all have a truly fantastic day. I wish you all the best luck in your own pad adventures, and happy puzzling.